Hi, Jen.
Hi, Mommy.
It's spring outside.
I know, I can feel it.
Are people in your pool yet?
No, there's just a broken pallet.
Okay. Well, here in New York, it is 80 degrees today, and your father and his bum knee are outside trimming hedges. And it's been a busy morning already. But you know what time it is now?
What time is it?
It's time for the right stuff. How do you like our Lawrence Welk music?
It sounds like a really bad game show.
It really does. Well, we're a really bad talk show, so it's,
Oh, so then you know what?
when I looked for music to replace the talk too much in case
Shh,
anybody
don't
was.
say it. We're gonna get
I
kicked
can
off.
say it. I just can't sing it, apparently. I got a note from Facebook saying they were going to close my account if we kept using the talk too much music because it was copyrighted. It didn't matter that it was under the 15-second rule, and I didn't want to bother with it. So I Googled really bad talk show music, and that's what Jen picked for our opening segment. So
It was a great selection of things to pick from. So
well, welcome to our 5 viewers. We're glad to see you on this beautiful Friday. Today, our topic of discussion is going to be Twitter and what's going on with Twitter, the hypocrisy of Twitter, the disinformation of Twitter. We've got Elon Musk, Lorenz Taylor, Barack Obama. We have Coco, the DJ, who was accused of performing in blackface, even though he's black. So we've got a great show today. But Jen, how was your week? Anything new, interesting?
zero, nothing. Work. Everything is work. The spring's here, so everyone's up in arms. They're all ready to go. So when COVID's gone. Hope I said COVID. Now we're gonna get kicked off again.
Yeah, now we're going to definitely get banned. Well, COVID is gone unless you're on an airplane, because it lives on the airplane. You saw that judge ruled that we can unmask on the airplane, but President Biden and the Justice Department, on behalf of the CDC, is going to fight against that ruling because
Yeah.
they decided that May 24th, COVID would be gone for airplanes,
Well,
not
he's going to Tulum, COVID, on May 24th. That's what he said.
okay.
So he'll
Well,
be in Tulum. We'll see.
and apparently, but it doesn't exist at the southern border because on May 24th they were supposed to stop. They were supposed to stop kicking people out, if they were suspected of having COVID. But they decided to do that sooner. So the border, and today, I don't know if you saw it as breaking news. I don't have a video clip of it, but today a border patrol officer drowned in the Rio Grande trying to save a family that was crossing. And so our hearts go out to he and his family. But it's sad. It's sad what's happening. It's sad the hypocrisy. It's sad the doublespeak. And so I'll start off with Taylor Lorenz, the former New York Times reporter, famous for harassing conservative tweeters, cried that she was the target of harassment after Tucker Carlson made mention of her on his show. The event sparked a study by the Brookings Institution on harassment of female journalists, which MSNBC reporter worries could change media reporting. Let's watch our first clip. Taylor Lorenz.
It is something nearly every woman with a public profile deals with on a regular basis. And now a new report captures how far-right media figures are fueling harassment of female journalists. Last year, Fox News host Tucker Carlson mocked New York Times reporter Taylor Lorenz on air, unleashing a wave of hate against Lorenz on Twitter. Trolls live everywhere. Can you just explain what it's like? Can you draw a picture of what it is like when a surge of harassment hits?
Yeah, it's completely overwhelming. I mean, I'm so grateful to the Brookings Institution for doing this study on public tweets, but you have to consider that I was getting thousands of messages a day on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter DM. I was getting death threats constantly. I had a person actually travel, to Los Angeles to try and find me. It's horrifying. And it's not just me either. They immediately dox you and go after your family members. They try and look up everyone who's ever, been associated with you.
So she's crying that they doxed her and that they were threatening her.
Yeah, but it's okay. Didn't we do that with Trump? Trump had that. He was being harassed. His son, there was a photo of Trump with his head taken off.
Hey, closer to home. What did they do to me? They were sending me death threats in the mail, for the video, that was edited and whatnot else. But here's a journalist, and she's crying foul only because conservatives were doing it to her. But guess what happened? You remember last week we spoke about libs of TikTok? We got some, the woman who actually reposts videos that teachers post about what they're teaching our kids in the classroom. Yeah. Well, Lorenz wrote an article in the Washington Post, and she outed libs of TikTok. She printed her name and she outed her. Her name is what's her name? Chaya Reichik, and she's a real estate agent, salesperson in Brooklyn. And so Lorenz outs her, and now guess what happens to what's her name? Reichik in Brooklyn.
Death threats.
Here's a lovely death threat that she got right there. Assassination mode activated, activation word, libs of TikTok target. Raycheck begin operation. And so she reports it, and guess what Twitter says? Says it's not a violation of their harassment policy. Are you kidding me? But
I get taken down for the stupidest shit. That it's okay.
But that's okay, right? Assassination mode, Raycheck target, and that's perfectly okay. Twitter's not going to take it down.
Well, do you remember what BLM did to me when they had me all over Twitter and they were following me everywhere and posting everything and names and this and that and following me on radio shows? Totally fine. And then they got me. they actually put their hands on me. I stood up.
Well, I bet you're a conservative, so you can have that. That if you're a conservative, that's fine. You could be outed, you could be doxxed, your family could be followed. Lorenz actually showed up at Raycheck's family house, and it's so funny because Grant Lally is Raycheck's lawyer, and he happens to be a friend of mine, and and he did the right thing. Raycheck wanted her identity to be kept secret, and he protected her. But, if you're a conservative, you deserve to be doxxed. If you're a lib, you can't. And it's not even as if libs of TikTok did anything other than take those videos that teachers posted themselves and just reposted them. And right now, she almost got 1 million followers, libs of TikTok. So good for her. Good for her. Lucille Chabon is here. Hi, Lucille. I'm so glad you're here.
And Marion.
And Marion Murphy is here. Hi, lady. Hi, Marion.
And that's it.
And that's it, right? Those are our two viewers today. Well, I don't blame
Your mother's not even here.
My mother isn't even here. I don't honestly blame them because, frankly, it's beautiful outside, and so everybody should be. If you could be out, be out. But watch us on Rumble later on and make sure that
and it's spring break.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of libs of TikToks, one of the videos that she posted, just so that people know, several of the teachers that libs of TikTok reposted have now been fired because they were filming in their classroom. And we're going to see a couple of clips of what they said in a few minutes.
This goes to show that side how they think they can do whatever they want with no repercussions.
Right. And they can, because they're doing it, because big tech is on their side, media corporations are on their side, and they're doing it. Listen, the most wildly popular president of the United States, Donald Trump, has been banned from Twitter for life. But you have Vladimir Putin is still on Twitter.
Does he have a Twitter?
He has a Twitter. He absolutely
I don't have Twitter. I got rid of my
Twitter, and he's still on Twitter. But anyway, so this is the type of stuff that Libs of TikTok has been posting, and it is getting so much attention from parents and from family members, concerned people, that it's actually creating a movement. She posted about this family sex show in the UK. Did you hear about this?
I haven't. I'm honestly, I told you, the news, I wish. I get to see the news rarely now. And do I want to get to see
it on Fridays?
That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here either.
Well, so in the United Kingdom, there is a show called the Family Sex Show, where live people are up on stage and they teach the audience how to masturbate, how to identify body parts, how, the different types of sex. And the show, they say, is good for kids or people 5 years old and up. And don't take my word for it. Watch.
Hello, my name is Ailey. I'm Programming and Engagement Manager at Tobacco Factory Theatres. I am a white female with brown blonde hair, and my pronouns are she, her. Family Sex Show is a fun and playful show for adults and children aged 5 and up. It offers an honest, human sex education that is feminist, queer, non-binary, inclusive and sex positive. This show can allow audiences of all ages to feel confident about their bodies, their boundaries and their sexual health, and we really hope to see you here.
I want to know why she described herself, in the video. You're watching
the blind people. Duh.
And so pornography is now called sex positive.
I wonder how much viewers they have.
Yeah, probably more than us. I mean, sex sells, baby.
Lots of pedophiles.
Lower that neckline, Jen. I love that.
Sex trafficking. Look what she's doing. This is a sex trafficking show now.
Listen, apparently it sells. Maybe we'll get in the double-digit viewers.
Yeah.
I love that they describe it as Sesame Street, meets, I forget what else. But anyway, if you want to know more about the show, you're going to have to go to their website, which is familysexshow.com, because guess what? The show has been canceled. Yes, indeed, it has been canceled because parents and other people signed petitions and decided to boycott the show. And so they had to cancel the rest of the showings. So I don't know.
Was that an ad in the top? Who's advertising on there?
Yes, it's the Daily Mail. Yeah, I took it from the web. It's the Daily Mail, and there's an ad there, and it's the best of SPF. But anyway, they canceled all shows going forward, and now they're claiming that conservatives forced them to cancel it because, we're.
Oh, that's it. It couldn't have been all the convicted pedophiles that we're watching.
Yeah. Oh, we used to have. Remember, we used to have ratings for movies and theater and stuff. Rated G, PG-13, R, X. Has that all gone out the window now? Now you can get up on stage live and masturbate and tell children to draw their penis during the show, and it's supposed to be okay. I mean, listen, if that's how you want to teach your children, that's up to you.
No, that's sick. That's sick.
Well, but you know what? Parents have a hard time talking to their kids about sex. But at 5 years old, really,
Give them, please. There has to be some kind of appropriate book.
Well, at 5 years old, why are we talking to kids about sex at all? I mean, if you sexualize children at 5 years old, what's going to happen to them when they're 6 and they're 7? And what's going to happen when some lunatic comes over to them and says, didn't you, I'm going to touch you here, I'm going to touch you there. Their mind is not going to be danger, danger, danger. Their mind is going to be, oh, well, mommy took me to the family sex show where they were touching each other on stage and taking out their penises and their private parts. And it was perfectly okay then. So why won't it be okay now? I mean, I still think that that's why we have the drug problem we have in America right now. Parents put their kids on all kinds of different pills for all these different made up, problems, anxiety on this and that at 2 years old, because the kid is running around like a nut job. 2 years old toddlers are supposed to be running around like nut jobs. You're going to give them a pill to stop them? And then when they're 13, you want them to say no to the pill that their drug dealer friend gives them? Get the frick out of here. I mean, why can't we think in this? I mean, what is going on?
Namaste, Leticia. You have an aneurysm.
Yeah, I have an aneurysm. Well, but it doesn't stop there. Unfortunately, we've got these crazy teachers. And listen, I love teachers. For the most part, our teachers, they do the job of they're supposed to do the job of getting kids ready for adulting. So I'm not labeling all teachers, but the teachers that are posting videos like I'm going to show you now, that are being showed to grammar school kids, this kind of stuff is crazy. And one of the teachers from the Brook Charter School, he was on there to discuss the fact that he's trans to grammar school children. The school put him on this Zoom call. And oh, by the way, their Twitter feed is private, but apparently Libs of TikTok took it. So here you go.
When babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl based on what they look like.
There are different kinds of genitals. Some genitals are called a penis. Some are called a vulva. Others look maybe a little bit like each in some ways, or kind of like neither, or somewhere in between. People with those kind of genitals are called intersex. When babies are born, parents sometimes guess their gender based on their genitals.
That girl needs a slap in the face. And then her parents. That's what she needs. I
guess.
Really?
Parents guess. Doctors guess.
All babies look ugly when they're born.
Yeah, but their genitals are clearly different. I mean, whose genitals is she looking at? Some look different than others.
To know. I would love to know.
I mean, and this is what we're teaching kids. Didn't we just spend 3 years follow the science, follow the science, follow the science? But biology is not science?
She makes no sense because she's saying that you can look at someone and choose what they are by the way they look. But I just saw somebody, and listen, like, you could do whatever you want. Everybody should be happy in the world. If you want to be a girl and you're a boy, do it. Just don't put it down my throat. But I saw a guy.
Wait. Say it again. So what?
Put it down my throat. Touche. You're sick. Anyway.
Don't put it down your kid's throat.
Well, whatever. Don't put it down anyone's throat. Keep it to yourself. But no, I saw a guy who was wanted to be a girl, which is fine, but he had a beard. So then, why can't I look at that person and say that's a boy? because that's the way he looks, because he has a beard. Shave the beard. If I walked around with a beard, can you imagine?
Well, my grandmother had a mustache, but that's a different story. Listen, you can't get a job at Disney, Jennifer, because you're not allowed to look at someone and decide whether they're a male or a female anymore. Remember the woman over there with blonde hair, and she's a she and a her. I mean, it's become absurd at this point. And the problem is that the generation, what is it now? Is it Z? Is it which generation is millennials? Who are these?
They're going to get rid of that because it's gender. It sounds like gender. Watch what happens. They're going to get rid of that word too. It's just going to be cool.
Well, here's what I know for sure is that they spent the gender reveal party kind of movement made millions of dollars for bakers and.
Well, that's over. Now you have to have it when they're 30.
Come to my surprise / 30th birthday party, gender reveal party. I'm going to make up my mind whether I'm a boy or a girl. It's this woke. This woke stuff is beyond. I mean, it's beyond comprehension, and it goes against everything that is scientific. I mean, they yelled at us, those of us who said that, if you have antibodies, you don't need the shot. It's scientific, that masks aren't working, which we've shown, which has been proven. They yelled at quote unquote conservatives for not following the science, but it's okay that they throw biology right out the window. And they want to teach that to 5-year-olds. So by the time that they get to be adults, they don't know what the hell they are anymore. I mean, this is crazy. And you know what? I mean, and we know this. I mean, they're supposed to be so positive, so human rights positive. Well, what about the women's movement? I guess it doesn't matter anymore, right? Because you can't do women, men. It's just nuts.
And not even that. You're supposed to respect. Everybody wants to be respected. You're supposed to respect somebody and their gender and what they feel and what they are. But if you voted for Trump, or if you're on the right, you're a racist, you're ignorant, you're stupid. So that's okay. Yeah. You can make fun of somebody because you don't believe in their views, but everyone else has to shut their mouth and bow down to you because you decided you wanted to put on women's panties while you have a beard on and paint your nails long and be called Glinda. I don't but not even being mean. You're not allowed to talk about it unless you have something positive to say, but it's okay for everyone else to bully.
That's right. That's right. And
nobody should be bullying anybody ever. That's it. You shouldn't be. Zero.
Okay. I have no problem if I don't even have a problem if a guy with a beard wants to wear a dress and long fingernails. That's up to him. Listen, I've seen some.
Those people I give props to because listen, you have to deal with some shit in the real world.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, I really do. I feel for them, and I really do. But stop spewing hate to everybody else, then.
But to act as if 5-year-olds. That's
really
starts at 5 years old, that this conversation ought to be taking place at 5 years old. No, it's not right.
5-year-olds eat their boogers.
They do more than that. More than that. So we're keeping our kids in a catatonic state with all this medication we're giving them, and we're telling them that they're not a boy or a girl, and they won't know until they figure it out. And they shouldn't be labeled. This is crazy. So are we going to get rid of all, bathrooms? Are we going to, the male, female, to me, there's something greater happening here. And in my opinion, it's designed to reduce our population, quite frankly, because when you start having confusion about your gender identity and who you are, and you start in young kids, you're killing the core of the family and mommies and daddies and all this. I mean,
you're not allowed to say that anymore. You're not even allowed to say parent in some schools.
Well, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that I know that if you have a vagina, you're a girl. And if you have a penis, you're a boy. And it takes a boy and a girl to get pregnant, but only women can do that. And if people want to know the definition of women, I could tell you the definition of woman. The definition of a woman is somebody with a vagina that can give birth. Period. And unfortunately, our new Supreme Court justice doesn't even know the definition of a woman, nor does our president, nor does Jen Psaki, nor do the leaders. They will not.
Nor does that girl that was just on that video.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the woke has gone beyond. It's not just gender that they're all woke about, and that they have something to say about. They actually have something to say about color, right? We know that, black, white. So more Twitter controversy from the idiotic woke. DJ Kim Coco Hunter, a 56-year-old African-American DJ, was shocked to learn that Jill Lesson and Stuart Roden, who promote diversity for the Scottsdale, Arizona School District, sent letters of complaint to the Hopi Elementary School in Phoenix after they saw a Twitter video of a PTA fundraiser, which they presumed was Coco performing in blackface. When Lassen and Roden were informed that the DJ in the video was indeed black, they shot back saying that black men shouldn't be wearing blackface either. Huh? Watch this. This is the
Is this real life?
Real life.
An Arizona DJ under fire for wearing blackface to a school fundraiser in Scottsdale. Yeah, he's not wearing blackface, but apparently 2 diversity advocates for the Scottsdale School District thought he was. And they wrote an angry letter to the school to complain. Coco, thanks for being here. I know you were sort of a bit reluctant to speak out, but this was an event you were asked to DJ. You stepped in for a friend. It was a successful night. You played the 70s music. Then the next day, your boss got a call saying, wait, was your friend who did the event actually black? He said, yeah, he's black. It's good. But they were still upset. Help our viewers understand how you were accused of wearing blackface.
So you said it right. The event went really well. 2 days later, that Monday, I get a call from Ryan Ingram from Ingram Entertainment. And he told me the news. And I'm like, there's no way. This has to be a joke. There's no way that he said, no, I'm serious. And then he told me about the second part about when they said, well, a black person being in blackface is problematic as well. And at that point, I'm taken aback and I'm shocked at this point. At the event, it was a 70s/disco theme. I'm in my disco gear. You know, I'm 56 years old, so I know that era right there. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Listen, I even took my roller skates, my personalized roller skates. I was so ready. My bell bottoms, all that stuff. Played music all night long. 200, 300, 400 people on the dance floor, and I'm trying to get them off and all. They won't leave. It was that kind of energy in there. Those great thoughts have been overshadowed. That great energy has been overshadowed. The purity of what happened that night has been overshadowed by this controversy.
By 2 idiots.
But they belong to they are the people in charge of the Arizona School District. And
of course they do.
Rather than take a real look at it, call up, find out what's going on, they shoot off this letter saying that this guy is in blackface. How embarrassing is this? How embarrassing is this?
They're not embarrassed. They're not embarrassed. I blame everybody else in America for putting up with this bullshit. You put up with it and you let it fly, and it's just going to get worse. Because people like this think they can say whatever they want. And they believed it. They believed it.
They believed it. I mean, instantaneously.
How stupid are people?
Rushed to judgment, because he was too black. I mean, the insanity. Or is it that they didn't believe that there could be a black DJ at this fundraiser in this town? Now, Hopi is a more conservative part of Arizona. So, So they couldn't believe that that school would have a black DJ. I mean, what the hell? What the hell? And oh, by the way, they're both white, just so that you know.
Obviously.
I mean, so this is the kind of idiocy that's happening around this country. I mean, that we are so ready to jump on board to lambast people, or to say the right is wrong and the left is right, and the left is only what the woke people want is what we have to do. And so, what the hell? What the hell? Now you're going after black people for being black, and that's okay. And
of course it's okay.
Yeah. So they have a great fundraiser.
Let it happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and of course they saw the video where? On Twitter. So Twitter, I laugh because Twitter is just full of these judgers, these people whose job it is to judge you and me and anybody else, and they get to decide. Like I said before, death threat, clearly assassination, Ray Chick, go. That's not a death threat. We don't think, they didn't violate our rules, but because Tucker Carlson called out Taylor Lorenz, hers was her. The fact that he called her out as someone who targets conservatives got her more media coverage. She did all the shows. I mean, she did them all. She was a writer for the Times at the time. She did all of the news shows, MSNBC, CNN, all the interviews. She even got a spread in a magazine. Poor Taylor Lorenz, the one who goes after conservatives. How dare a conservative go after her? And then after she finishes crying, she goes after libs of TikTok. And that's allowed. That's allowed. It's allowed. It's accepted. It's ridiculous. So, well, Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter.
I would love to see what he's going to do with that once he gets it. They're trying to block him, so.
They are trying to block him. Yeah, and why do you think they're trying to block him? What's wrong with Elon Musk? You would think that Elon Musk, electric car, right? Isn't the woke? They want no more gasoline, no fossil fuels, none of that stuff. So he's the guy that's bringing, electric cars. He brought it to the market, trying to get America to go green that way. Why are they after Elon Musk?
Because they think that he's going to actually make it an open platform for discussions.
Well, the one thing he always says is that the most important thing to him is the truth. Mm-hmm. So, they're afraid that he's going to bring back Trump. So they're all banning.
Yeah, and that's the only way that he would actually go back on Twitter, I think, is that if Elon Musk bought it and invited him on.
Well, so here's a guy who's got Asperger's, right? So he's a protected class because he's got Asperger's syndrome, but he managed to overcome his challenges and become one of the richest men in the world. And he created a Twitter presence that is in the millions, and people follow him and people want to hear what he has to say. And he is like a household name now. I don't think anybody in America doesn't know who Elon Musk is. And not only
in the world.
So do you want to know where he comes up with ideas for tweeting?
Where?
Only on this show, folks. Only on this show. Everywhere else, you're going to see, regurgitated news. Nope, not here. Here we find original
cows, tweets. Yeah, you got it.
Tweets. Elon Musk, here is what he has to say about his tweets.
I mean, some of the people who love you the most look at some of what you tweet, and they think it's somewhere between embarrassing and crazy. Some of it's amazing.
I mean, it is a little.
Yeah. but is that actually why it's worked, or why has it worked?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm tweeting more or less stream of consciousness. It's not like let me think about some grand plan about my Twitter or whatever. I'm like, literally on the toilet or something. I'm like, oh, this is funny, and then tweet that out. That's like most of them. Oversharing.
That's how our president thinks about how he's going to rule the country. When he's on the toilet, or
when he's napping, So he tweets from the toilet. I love it. So the guy with who is a sensation on Twitter, world renowned, tweets from the toilet.
Maybe we should do the show from the toilet.
Maybe we get more stream of consciousness. Well, he tweets from the toilet, and do you want to see his toilet? Because I have.
Oh, of course we have it.
Of course we have it. I have Elon Musk. His toilet is in a luxurious bathroom in a sprawling mansion. Musk sold all his homes except one in Los Angeles, which he rents out for events, and moved into a $50,000 prefab home located in Boca Chica Beach, Texas, which he rents from SpaceX. And we have a tour, not of his actual home, but of a home that is like the one that he lives in. Watch this. It's going to blow your mind.
Possible Casita is about 400 square feet and really everything you need to live comfortably. A fantastic full-size kitchen, full-size refrigerator and appliances, oven, dishwasher, beautifully lit. Going around to the bedroom, full-size queen bed, very generous, plenty of room. And coming around to the living area where we can see we have a movie playing on the television, Las Vegas Vacation, very appropriate. Absolutely stunning full-size bathroom. And let's take a walk in here, might be a little bit cramped. Very nice tub, glass shower, contemporary, 6 running feet of closet. On the end here, there's a broom closet with an ironing board that folds out.
Hold on, I'm going to the bathroom.
Listen, that would scare me, having Biden toilet paper in my bathroom.
Awesome.
I see enough of them.
It's super thick too.
Like his head.
Yeah. Thank you to my neighbor for this. This was one of my birthdays.
Love it. Yeah, so do you believe this? I mean, this guy, he lives what he says. He lives exactly what he says. He wants to reduce carbon footprint. He created a car to do that. He lives in a small house.
That's exactly why I live in this shoebox of an apartment, because I care about the world.
There you go. So Jen is eco-friendly. She's living in less room than Elon Musk.
I am.
Well, I think that, the thing that scares the left about Musk is the fact that he does live, what he professes. And that's, something that too often is not happening in the world. And we have the left is, telling us one thing, doing another. It's rules for thee, but not for me. And Musk is doing the right thing. So, I mean, he says he has the money to buy Twitter now. So,
yeah.
What
they're doing something with the shares, though. They were cheaper, but now I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something shady.
Yeah, it's a poison pill. They're trying to block him. The board is trying to make it so that you can't own more than 15% of the company. And Musk uncovered and actually said, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. I do.
I don't have a Twitter.
Oh, that's right. They threw you off.
No. This time I left willingly.
You left willingly. Hey, I got it. Well, he 15. Most of the the board members don't own shares in the company. So that he uncovered that as well. But I think that this is now like a personal grudge for him. He's going to do it. He's going to figure out a way to do it. And unless, the Justice Department or the FEC or the SEC or whoever handles,
or the CDC.
Yeah, I mean, they went after him before, and he had to plead guilty to something he didn't do to try when Tesla was going public. The SEC, wanted him to do something, and he actually had to amend how he did that. And if you watch that TED Talk, that was a TED Talk about a week ago, and he actually talks about it and how the government got all up in his business because he was taking the company public. And it's hysterical to me that the government, the SEC, got all up in that business, but the Hunter Biden business and the laptop and the Burisma and all the other stuff, that's when they raided Giuliani's apartment and they said, here's the hard drive, they didn't even want it. So I mean, in our next clip, it talks about that. I mean, Obama was at Stanford University, and he was talking about how big tech and social media and the internet has changed the way we do things. And this clip, it's a little long, but I want you guys to listen to it, because in one breath, he talks about how, and it's funny how his point of view is that social media is a platform for hate speech. It's a platform for the right. It's the platform for white supremacists. It's a platform for, misinformation and disinformation.
So then why does he have multiple social media accounts?
Well, so he wants there to be more oversight over social media. In other words, he wants police. He wants more police. He wants more Twitter police. He wants more Facebook police. He wants them to take a look at what people are saying, and he wants them to stop people from saying things that he doesn't agree with. And in this clip, you're going to see he talks about the 2020 election and that he can't believe that Republicans don't believe that the 2020 election was legitimate. And then he jumps into how Putin and the Russians actually put out disinformation that changed the 2016 election. So watch this.
Indeed, one of the biggest reasons for democracy's weakening is the profound change that's taken place in how we communicate and consume information. All we see is a constant feed of content where useful, factual information and happy diversions and cat videos flow alongside lies, conspiracy theories, junk science, quackery, white supremacists, racist tracks, misogynist screeds. I already mentioned the 2020 presidential election. President Trump's own Attorney General has said that the Justice Department uncovered no evidence of widespread voter fraud. A review of the ballots in Arizona's largest county, the results of which were endorsed by some pretty courageous local Republicans, because many of them harassed and received death threats, actually found more votes for President Biden and fewer votes for President Trump. And yet today, as we speak, a majority of Republicans still insist that President Biden's victory was not legitimate. Understand, it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won. And as Putin discovered leading up to the 2016 election, our own social media platforms are well designed to support such a mission, such a project. Russians could study and manipulate patterns in the engagement ranking system on a Facebook or a YouTube. And as a result, Russian state-sponsored trolls could almost guarantee that whatever disinformation they put out there would reach millions of Americans. And that the more inflammatory the story, the quicker it spread. Here's what I think our guiding principle should be. The way I'm going to evaluate any proposal touching on social media and the internet is whether it strengthens or weakens the prospects for a healthy, inclusive democracy.
That's what I feel about that speech. That's how I feel.
So Obama's going to decide, or a bunch of other people are going to decide whether or not your speech on social media is going to strengthen the democracy.
Yeah, but meanwhile, he was talking about the White House. It's full of bullshit and misleading information. Oh, shit. Hello.
Well, if anybody that wants to see the whole video, it's up on YouTube, and I suggest that you watch it. Obama is adept at not allowing you to clip things into one sentence, kind of like me, run-on sentences. But basically what he was saying there is that the right is issuing disinformation, but when it came to the 2016 election, that was Russian intervention in the election process, and that's no good. So what he wants to do is he wants to whitewash all of social media and only make it kumbaya, even though he also says that he is an absolute constitutionalist. Brenda Black, he is such a disappointment. He is gaslighting Americans. He is indeed, Brenda, and I suggest that you really, everybody take a look at that. He spoke for about an hour, and he's a fantastic speaker. So he really is a fantastic speaker. I mean, it's amazing to me that Biden can't string a sentence together, that Kamala Harris can't get a thought straight out of her mouth, but this man can speak for an hour and make his point clear. Throughout the speech, though, he contradicts himself, and again, it's separating right from left, and that's what he's saying. He's saying that the right are a bunch of haters and the left are a bunch of kumbayas. But but I'll go back to Taylor Lorenz. She's pissed off that Rachel is posting videos of woke teachers trying to teach toddlers, basically, about gender identity. And so it's allowed for her to go showing up at Rachel's family's door looking for information about Rachel. It's okay for her to dox Rachel. It's okay for her to expose Rachel. She can't be exposed, but
no, of course,
the right can. So, but the problem is that I've always been someone to say people are smart enough to know bullshit from truth, and what's really real is facts. They're movable. There's no such thing as facts.
No. Well, there is to these people that look at the internet. They're fact checkers, 100% right.
Well, I mean, but
what is those facts?
What is a fact? 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, right. math, there's facts in math. Science is a group of people doing some experiments, and the majority, times that it comes out a certain way, that's presented as that's a fact. But like even with science, chemotherapy, right? We need chemotherapy to treat cancer, but not 100% of human beings can tolerate chemotherapy. Some people, it kills them. No one drug is good for every single person. No one disease will
unless
kill
it's the COVID shot.
Unless it's a COVID shot. And he talks about that too. He talks about how can we, the right, and he says it's conservatives, and Republican. He actually names Republicans. Oh, so many people won't take the shot. It was made in record time, and it's been proven, and blah blah. And
exactly.
Yeah. But
that's the problem. Where's the science and the studies behind that?
And, the thing you don't hear about right now is that there was a study for the states like Florida that had minimal COVID restrictions, minimal mask mandates, minimal everything versus New York, which had massive restrictions. And they both have similar populations and everything else. And guess what? The amount of COVID cases were the same. The amount of deaths were the same. Exactly the same. So what does that show you? If you were following the science, you're going to say, well, that shows that it had to run its course, right? It had to do what it had to do. And that masks were not the answer. And the lockdowns were not the answer. That's what it should tell you. But no, they're not saying that. They're not talking about that. They don't want to publicize that, because if they publicize that, everything that they've been preaching all this while goes up in smoke.
Exactly. Look at smoking. Remember, doctors used to smoke.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't years of studies behind it.
Yep.
So doctors smoked, kids were smoking. You can buy cigarettes at any age. But as time went on and studies went on and more scientists went on and sicknesses and they got comparable, we don't have any of that. Yeah. So how can somebody in their right mind believe that they know that this is totally 110% safe to give to your children, to give to a toddler?
Or a pregnant woman, or a pregnant woman, not person, woman.
And that's why I'm against it. Besides it harming me, I'm against it because there's no study. Everyone's like, oh, well, you get Botox, you put that in. Yeah, but Botox has been around since the early 80s.
And you know the side effects. And you know the possible side effects. Every other drug on the market, when they have their advertisements, they say, here are your possible side effects.
You have to. That's a law. And I don't know how they're getting away with this, because even if you don't say it, you need to put a link and say, for possible side effects, visit blah, 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 blah. They don't say any of it. And that is a law.
Because they can't be sued. Because when they got part of the whole deal about getting the shot out there quickly was the fact that they indemnified, they protected the pharmaceutical companies so they can't be sued. You know what? You can't be sued over measles, mumps, or rubella shots either. So because these are mandated vaccinations, and so the pharmaceutical companies cannot be sued. And guess what? You're not allowed to talk about the side effect of the vaccines for measles, mumps, or rubella.
No, and that's when I got thrown off TikTok. When I gave my whole story about what happened. They said it was misinformation. I said, how is that misinformation? It happened to me.
It doesn't matter.
And that 18-year-old in Silicon Valley knew. It was bullshit.
And that's what Obama was talking about. He was talking about misinformation. What you're talking about, that it happened to you, misinformation, not allowed to talk about it. So here's a man who's saying he believes in free speech. He's speaking in front of college students, college students, former president of the United States, saying in one breath, I am an absolute constitutionalist and I believe in free speech. However, if the social media platform and the speech you're putting on the social media platform does not spread democracy, then you can't say it. If it's against one person or another person, right, you can't say it. And the people who are going to decide. Who are they? What makes these people so fantastic that they can decide what you're saying is okay, but what this person is saying isn't okay? If they were going to do it computer generated by an algorithm, then I'd say fine. That's the rule. That's the rule. But a computer is going to decide. But as we know, computers can.
But who programs the computer?
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, we have real problems here. So why don't we err on the side of safety and preservation of free speech, and let everybody say whatever the hell they want to say? Now, I agreed. You don't yell fire in a crowded movie theater because it could cause a stampede and people could get killed. Understood. But in the Twitter universe, in the Facebook universe, in the other digital media platforms, they allowed assassination, target Raycheck. They allowed that on Twitter and said it didn't violate rules when it was reported. So what are you doing?
Oh, they actually, I don't know if you remember, but when I did have Twitter, there was this BLM artist who actually had photos of NYPD cop cars blowing up, reported it. They said it didn't go against violation.
That's right.
Blowing up, saying to kill cops, pigs, kill them, we don't need them, and literally doing artwork with those visuals.
That's right. Right. Because they're cops. So, the woke doesn't like the cops. So, I'm sorry. It's gotten absurd now. And to say you're an absolute constitutionist and you believe in free speech, but you want more monitoring of the speech that's on the social media platforms. Once again, hypocrisy, doublespeak, and that's what this all is.
Speaking of cops, who doesn't like cops? Because I think there is a guy where does he live, in Virginia?
He lives in Bridgeport, Virginia. Here we go. Okay. Officers from Bridgeport, Virginia Police Department who pulled over 57-year-old Roy Porter for a traffic violation were confused when Porter handed them his registration and a packet of crystal meth fell out. Porter was promptly arrested along with his passenger, who also had crystal meth in their pocket.
He looks really tired.
He looks really stoned.
Kidding, it was a joke.
But then again, doesn't everybody now? Where everybody's running around.
Oh my God, I can't with the pot. Listen, you want to smoke pot? That's fine. I'm probably going to get kicked out of this apartment soon by management because the emails that I'm sending, I'm like, you can't smoke cigarettes in the building. You're not allowed to even smoke a cigarette underneath enclosed, even an awning. You're not allowed. You have to be a certain amount of feet away from the building. But you can start smoking pot at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I have candles everywhere. You think I'd have a shrine of somebody? I'm like, but I started making posters and they're going on every floor. I really don't care because I'm going to tell everyone they're getting evicted if they continue to do this. I'm going to be management now.
This is again hypocrisy.
We're stupid enough, people. We're stupid enough.
You can smoke pot, but you can't smoke cigarettes, and you can't smoke menthol vapes.
No, you can't have a vape. Vapes are dangerous. They're dangerous.
But
water is dangerous.
You can smoke a pound of weed a day, and that's just fine. You can do it in public. You can do it while you're feeding your baby. You could do it while you're walking a stroller. You could do it out in public. It doesn't matter.
You know why? Because the government has their little grubby hands on it now. They're making money.
Right. New Jersey just made it legal. Yep.
It's like when I saw the drive-through liquor store. I was like, what? What? Meanwhile, I was out by the fire pits and they had cigars, the guys, and they were smoking them. And they had the nerve, the security outside, no one else, to say, well, you can't smoke that here. And I looked up to my building with all of the flames of pot smoke coming out of the seams. And I'm like, are you serious? Go away. Go away.
It just depends. It depends. Pot good, cigarettes bad. Pot good, vapes bad. And this meth head,
Meth bad, very bad.
Well, meth is bad. I mean, listen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm done with the illegal drugs. Who the hell cares? That you know what? The problem we've got fentanyl coming in at the border by the ton, and nobody is saying shit about it. Nobody. But you're going to tell, a kid, the teenagers that they can't vape. Which, by the way, since vape started, teenage smoking of tobacco.
I haven't seen a teenager with a cigarette.
has dramatically dropped.
I haven't even seen adults with cigarettes. It's actually so rare. When I do see it, I notice it.
That's right.
I notice it.
That's right. I mean, they got us. They got us off cigarettes, and good. I mean, I'm glad of it.
Smells much better.
Vaping helps that, but as soon as it came out, tobacco industry targeted it, and so now vaping's no good. So who's going to be behind the pot? It's probably going to be the tobacco industry.
Meanwhile, one joint is equal to 20 cigarettes.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
so you guys
we went
know.
over. All right, here's our last story. So Joe Biden is keeping secrets from the Secret Service. The Secret Service is in the dark about who is visiting Joe Biden in his Delaware home, where he spent more than 1/4 of his life during his first year in office. The New York Post saw more than 1 year of visitor log records under the Freedom of Information Act, so the public could know who is visiting Biden when he isn't in the White House. But Secret Service Freedom of Information Act officer Kevin Tyrell wrote in a response dated Monday that, quote, the Secret Service FOIA office searched all program offices that were likely to contain potentially responsive records, and no records were located. What does that mean? That means that
they also hold the records for Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden.
Well, I mean, we have no idea who's visiting Biden in his house. Is it Chinese lobbyists? Is it Russian lobbyists? Is it Ukrainian lobbyists? Who's
probably doctors? It's probably doctors
with the IV juice to try and get him up and going. Anyway, so pretty bad when the president of the United States can keep a secret from his Secret Service. So, and the people can't know. All right, Jen, you got any last words for our two viewers here?
No, I was just going to thank the two viewers. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Made me feel very special.
Yeah, a beautiful Friday afternoon. Thank you. We'll see you next Friday, 3:30. Hopefully it'll rain.
That's a threat.
Hopefully it'll rain between 3:30 and 4:30 only, and then go back to sunshine. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we're out. Talk to you next week.